Alex Briscoe, please. Alex Briscoe. Who's your attorney? Is it Langston Adams? Where'd he go? He was here.
On the actual case.
What is this all about? Something about GPS. Oh, you can't afford the GPS? Is that what it is?
Thank you.
I've looked at this. I'm just going to tell you, Mr. Briscoe, GPS is the least of your problems. I'm looking at this file, and I looked at and I don't want you to say anything. I'm going to do all the talking. So you're accused of using and exhibiting a deadly weapon, namely a handgun, to commit this assault, where apparently beat on the door and pointed a handgun and reached inside the residence, forcefully pulled the victim out. And you have a prior conviction in 2019 of being a felon in possession of a firearm out of Harris County. You know that, and you have a felony before that. So you know that weapons and misuse of weapons have their consequences. And this states, according to the grand jury, you threatened somebody at their home, burst through their home, used a deadly weapon, namely a handgun. Again, you're getting in trouble. No, you have to have a GPS device. If you can't afford it, you go to jail. Okay? You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. That's all I got to say to you. No, I'm not tolerating misuse of firearms. And that seems to be your track record. You can shake your head all day long. Don't shake your head at me. You understand? That's the court's order. Do you have a GPS now or not?
No,
Then sit over there. Thank you. You're not leaving until we know that the community can be safe when you're walking about misusing firearms. Shame on you. Tell Mr. Adams that we're here. There's a hearing, and I'm going to place his client in jail because he doesn't have a GPS device. That's important. He can't be trusted to amble about the community. He's got too many misuse of firearm charges that keep him from being safe to others. Thank you.
Does Mr. Adams need to come down?
Yeah, we got to deal with this.
Oh, good. So that comes.
All right. Yeah, we're going to put him in custody right now. Thank you. And the jury is still outside.
Yes, sir.
We're going to bring them in and release them. Thank you.
We don't have a signed agreement yet, Judge.
Okay. He's working on it in jury room.
Hold on, wait on the jury a few minutes.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll give them.
Thank you. Yeah, let's take up Mr. Briscoe real quick here. Come on in.
One of us was going.
All right. This is an issue on,
I'm still in the prison, so.
who's here in this case, Briscoe? If anybody, it's a GPS device issue. He can't afford, but his file.
You still have it or no?
No.
Here.
Hold on.
I got it. Filter both of us.
The problem we have here is that he is charged with the use or exhibition of a deadly weapon. He is previously convicted of felon in possession of a weapon, which means he had a felony before this 2019 conviction occurred. I don't know what that is, but what I see here is again misuse of a weapon that can resulted in a conviction out of Harris County. And then here is misuse of a deadly weapon, namely a handgun, again, alleged in this indictment. Now, I've ordered him to have a GPS device because I want to know where he is. And I want to be able to check on him to make sure that he isn't even within breathing distance of a firearm. Because he has proven unworthy of being trusted, not to use a firearm irresponsibly. You can't even touch one. It's a crime. Touch it, you got it. You got another crime. The GPS device was something that I want to know where he is, and that's this court believes is hardly too much to ask for the safety of the community when you've been convicted of misuse of a firearm before, and then now again another aggravated assault with the use of a weapon. Notice the states it's saying. Let's see. Approached him, advised. The defendant was brandishing a black handgun, pointing at him, stating he would kill him. The victim was in fear of serious bodily injury, entered the residence, and it was shortly after that that the defendant began to beat on the door. Somebody opened the door, and the defendant pointed the handgun at the person and used his hand to reach inside the residence and forcibly pull the person out. So misuse of a firearm is alleged. Yeah, the GPS device is, I want to know where he is because he is proven untrustworthy to have weapons. I just wish there was a device we could have that he could carry around that alarms anytime he gets near a firearm, but we don't have such a device. So I want to know where he is because I'm going to think if there's misuse of a firearm around town, my first instinct is to think Alex must be up to something. So yeah, you've got to have a GPS device and you're going to have to stay at home unless you go to work, go to the doctor, go to get food, the necessities to and from your home in the most direct route possible. That's hardly a lot to ask for when you have a criminal history like this, sir. We're going to keep the community safe as best I can from people who are irresponsible, especially with the misuse of firearms. It's hardly something hard to ask of anybody, but you're going to have to meet the obligation if you want to stay out on a bond. So that's that issue. And until he can get a GPS device, he's going to be in custody. So what are we going to do about it? You can't do it. You can't get one, right?
I really don't. I gotta put my child that'll be 24 hours home, lunch to 24 hours because he had got hit by a car. So I'm really in the house every day anyway.
That's why it's always, you have obligations on the outside. That's why it's a good deal not to get a criminal charge. And especially when you've got a prior conviction of misuse of a firearm, and here we are, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. You're looking at, in this case, if all of this is true, you're looking at up to life in prison. You understand? It's a second-degree felony enhanced to a first-degree felony because of a prior conviction. So you're looking at no less than 5 nor more than life imprisonment. You see, it's serious. So this court is certainly going to treat it this way. But what do? I asked Mr. Adams to come here to talk to you about your options here. And you need to talk to him about anything this was kind of a surprise, but I don't want him to leave without getting some advice from you. You take whatever time you need, talk to him about his options and what can happen if you, number one, fail on your bond conditions, it will be revoked. And number two, if you can't afford a GPS, it's just an obligation you have to have. You put yourself in a position where I want to know where you are at all times. If somebody's seen with a firearm, I want to know where you are to see if it was you or not, because you have a track record of misuse of a firearm. We're going to do all we can to keep this county safe as best we can from irresponsible use of firearms.
Judge, I think that a possible help to this situation is that, to my understanding from talking to him, the initial fee is $300 and they want $200 every month on the GPS. If the court would be willing to waive the fees for the GPS, then he can keep the GPS on him. And he's saying that he can't afford that initial $300 payment, and then he can't afford the $200 payment each month.
Well, here's the problem. I've just said it, and I'm funny about it. I opened the door for one, I opened the door for everybody. Everybody's going to be in the G, and then who's going to pay for all the GPS device? The GPS has to have, the taxpayers aren't going to pay. It's the obligation of the defendant. But that's what I do. Just like what happened earlier, that door just got open, and we're going to be doing, I'll treat people that way from here on, and I'm going to treat him and others the same way. But I'm not, it's a bar you have to jump over. That's why I advise, don't commit crimes of violence or threaten violence with firearms. And then we wouldn't have to deal with this. Sorry. And you've got your prior conviction. What was his prior felony that resulted in this Harris County conviction that caused this felon in possession?
That was,
What was your first felony conviction?
possession of control system.
Oh, possession of control. Where, what county?
It was discount.
Jefferson?
It's a-
Okay. Is that what they used in the indictment here in Harris County as your prior
That's what-
conviction, the
that's it.
illegal possession of a controlled substance? Okay. All right. Anybody else want to say anything? No? Did you want to talk to him while you got him here about it? Okay, let me, go into the jury room.
Well, we can do that.
Okay.
Let me get.
Then I want to go with the Leo's case here.
All right, come on.
Yeah.